Hi, I'm Ari, and today we are going to talk about arithmetic operations modulo n. And before we start our lesson, I would like to show you our learning targets for today. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to first define arithmetic modulo n. Second is perform basic operations using integers modulo n. And lastly, apply modular arithmetic to solve real-world problems or scenarios. Okay? Now, let us define what is arithmetic operations. So, arithmetic operations modulo n is denoted as a modulo n. Okay? But when we write the word modulo, we don't have to spell it out. Instead, we are going to write MOD. Okay? And these two variables can be any number, dependent or depending on a given value. Now, it involves performing operations, of course, the basic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with integers where the result is taken, modulo n. So meaning to say, when we solve for modulo n, all you have to do is first solve for the operation, solve for the given using the operations, okay? So what if, or in the case of addition, okay? We are gonna try to see how each operation works. So let's start with the addition. We have here given number 23 and 38. So we just have to perform the operation. So 23 plus 38 is equals to 61. Now that we have the answer here, you can see the modulo value is number 12. So we are going to divide the 61 or this value with this value, the value of our modulo. So 61 divided into 12. 6 alone cannot be divided into 12, right? So we have to look for a multiples of 12 that can be divided into 61. So we can use 5 because 5 times 12 is 60. Now we have to bring down the 1 and 1 is our remainder. So that is how you solve this first equation. Now, the second one, we also have here the number 51 or the value 51 and 72. And because these two are within the parentheses and we have here the operation addition symbol, we are going to simply add the two numbers, which results in 123. Now, 123, it has the modulo value of 3. So we are going to divide the 123 or the sum of these two numbers into 3 because this is our modulo, right? So 12 can be divided by into 3. So we are going to write here 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. And now we bring down the 3. Then 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay? And then, now, as you may notice, we don't have a remainder here. Unlike here, the first one has a remainder of 1 and the second one is a 0. So, in this case, this is still considered as a right answer because if you write it like this, it still makes sense. 123 or value of 123 is congruent. This is a sign of congruence. Congruent to 0 modulo 3. So whatever the number or value that we can find here, that is the answer. So in overall, we can still use even if the answer is 0, or we can use the answer even though it's 0 value. Now that we are done with the addition, let us move on to the subtraction. Okay? So obviously, because we are dealing with subtraction, the symbol that we use here is subtraction symbol. So for the example 1, we have the value of 33 minus 16 and then modulo 6. Now, 33 minus 16 is 17. And 17 divided into 6, because that's the value of our modulo, we have 2 and then 12, then we bring down to 5. So this is our remainder and this is our answer for number 1. Now, the second one, we have 14 minus 27. As we can observe, the first number or value is smaller than the second one. So what happens is our answer is going to be a negative answer or negative number. Now, in the case that we encounter with a negative answer, we have to look for the multiples of whatever number you have for our modulo. So since we have a modulo 5, we are going to look for a multiples of 5 that could make this number a positive number which is less than or equal to our modulo value. Now, let us try solving for the multiples of 5. Negative 13 plus 5 is equals to negative 8. Now, negative 8 plus 5 is equals to negative 3. And then negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. So now that we got our positive number, which is less than or equal to our modulo number or value, this is going to be our final answer. So that's how you solve for the subtraction modulo n when we encounter these kind of values. Okay? Next one, we have the multiplication modulo n. Next up is the multiplication modulo n. So we have here the example. The value given is 15 and then 23. So 15 times 23, if you use a calculator, we are going to get the value of 345. So since our modulo value is 11, we are going to divide the 345 into 11. So 11 times 3 is 33, right? So we are going to write 3 right here, and then we have the remainder of 1, then copy the 5 or bring down 5, and then 15 can be divided into 11 but only 1. So we have the excess or the remainder 4. So that's how you solve for multiplication modulo n. We have to simply multiply the values that we found here or we find within the parentheses. Okay, you just have to perform the operation first before we try solving for modulo number. Now we have the last operation, which is the division modulo n. And for division, we have 2 ways to solve for the answer. Now this is the not shortcut way, okay? Because 7 divided by 2 multiplied to modulo 5. What happened here is we bring down the 7 and then add the value of modulo, and then we get a 12, and then we divide a 12 here, and now we get a number 6. And then the value of 6 is divided by into the value of modulo, which is 5, and then we get the answer of remainder 1. But there is an easy way for us to solve this. We can just simply divide the 7 into 2. So 7 divided by 2 is equals to 3. discuss the same numbers. So it's more, this one or this method is more preferable. Now that we are done with discussing how to use the 4 different operations to solve for modulo n, let's try answering some problems or real-world problems that where we can use the modulo n operations. Okay. So first question: if today is Tuesday, what day of the week will it be 93 days from now? So since we are dealing with the days of the week, let us assign a number, okay, for the following days of the week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. For Monday, we can use number 1 to represent the day, and then 2 for Tuesday, 3 for Wednesday, 4 for Thursday, 5 for Friday, 6 for Saturday, and then 7 for Sunday. Okay, so these are the numbers that are going to represent the days of the week. So the given here is if today is Tuesday, so Tuesday, and what day of the week will it be? 93 days ayan, from now. So from the word from now, we are dealing with after. Okay, so we are using the addition operation for this one. So Tuesday is denoted as 2. So we write number 2. You write 2, and then since we are dealing with addition, let's put a addition symbol, and then 93. And then our modulo value should be 7. Why 7? Because we are dealing with 7 days, okay? 7 days of the week. Because a week is consisting of 7 days. Now, let's just solve for the values so that we will be able to get the answer. Now, 2 plus 93 is 95. And then when we divide 95 into 7, we get 1, and then 7, and then 2, 5, and then 7, 14, 21, 30, 20, 21, and then 4. So our remainder, as you can see, is number 4. So this is our answer. Now, we just have to look for the day, which is represented by a number 4, which is Thursday. So the answer for number 1 is Thursday. Next, what day of the week will it be 46 days from now if today is Friday? So for number 2, it says what day of the week will it be 46 days from now if today is Friday? So the given here is 46, Friday, which is denoted by 5, okay? And then from now, the key word from now, meaning after, or we are going to use addition. So Friday is 5, and then we are looking for the day of the week when it is 46 days from now. So we write 46 and then modulo 7 because we are still dealing with days of the week. So 5 plus 46 is 51, right? And then copy the modulo 7. We divide the 51 with 7. We get 7. We get the 7 because 7 times 7 it equals to 49, right? So 51 minus 49, it will be 2. So our remainder is 2, and the answer for the number 2 is the day that is denoted with the number 2, so which is Tuesday. So our answer here is Tuesday. The third example here is John's father told him 35 days from now, you will be graduating high school already. Today is John's graduation day and it is Monday. So what day was it when his father told him? The keywords here is 35, from now on, and Monday. But this is a tricky question because it doesn't always mean that we see a from now phrase, we are going to use addition because it is already present and we are looking for the past or the day that already passed. Okay, so we are going to use subtraction this time. So the given is Monday, so we write 1 and then minus 35. Modulo is still 7. So we have negative 34 modulo 7. Now we have to look for a number or multiples of our value of the modulo. That makes this number or the 35 or negative 34, I mean, a positive number that is not greater than 7, okay? So what we have to do is we are just going to do what we did earlier. So 34, negative 34 plus 7 is equals to negative 27. Negative 27 plus 7 is equals to negative 20. Negative 20 plus 7 is equals to negative 13. Negative 13 plus 7 is equals to negative 6. And then negative 6 plus 7 is equals to positive 1. So we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sevens. So since we use 5 sevens, we can just write it like this. Is equals to 1. Okay, so that's how you solve for the number 3. Okay, so our answer is 1, which is representing the day, which is Monday. So our answer here is Monday. Is that clear? Okay. Next example. Melanie went to the park with her family 6 days ago. If Saturdays are the only day of the week that she goes out, then what day of the week is today? So we are looking for the present date, okay? Now, the givens are Saturday, which is denoted by 6, and then 6 days ago. We use addition because we are looking for the present day, okay? So don't be confused with the word ago. Now, we write 6 plus 6 and then modulo 7 because we are still talking about the day of the week. 6 plus 6 is 12 and then modulo 7. So we divide 12 into 7. It's gonna be 1 and then 7 and then bring down whatever is left. So our remainder is 5. So the day that she went out is Saturday and today is Friday because it's 5. Okay, so that's how you solve for this number or for this problem. And next one is what day of the week is 100 days after Monday? So Monday is denoted by 1 and then we add because after. Take note of the word after. So we are dealing with addition. So 1 plus 100 and then modulo 7. So 101 modulo 7. We divide 101 with 7. So 10 divided by 7 is 1. 10 minus 7 is 3. And then 31. And then 14. 31 minus 28. Tama ba? 7, 14, 21, yeah. 31 minus 28 is 3. So our answer is 3, which is equivalent to Wednesday. So the answer here is Wednesday. I forgot to write the answer For the number 4, what was the answer again? 5, so Friday. Okay, now, the next one is, if today is Wednesday, what day is it after 65 days? So, Wednesday is denoted with number 3. Okay, and since we are also talking about after, we are just going to use addition. So 3 plus 65 modulo 7. So 3 plus 65 is 68, and then we divide the 68 with 7. So the value is 9. Because 7 times 9 is 63, right? 7 times 9 is 63. So we get the remainder of 5, which is equivalent to Friday. So our answer is Friday. So that's how you solve for these problems. Next one. Disregarding AM or PM, if it is 5 o'clock right now, what time was it 57 hours ago? So our given is 5 and then 57. Since we are talking about a clock or time, disregarding AM or PM, so we use the value of 12 for modulo. So our given is 5 ago. So we are dealing with subtraction. So 57 modulo 12. So 5 minus 57 is equals to negative 52 modulo 12. So we just have to look for a number or multiples of the value of 12, the value of modulo, so that we can come up with a positive number that is less than or equal to 12. Okay? So negative 52 plus 12 is negative 40, and then negative 40 plus 12 is 28, negative 28, and then negative 28 plus 12 is negative 16, right? And then negative 16 plus 12 is negative 4. And then negative 4 plus 12 is positive 8. So our answer is 8. But let's count how many 12s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we write this as negative 52 plus 12 times 5, because we use 5 12s, okay, is equals to 8. So our answer is 8, and since we are disregarding whether it is AM or PM, the answer is 8 o'clock. Okay? So that's our answer for this number. Second one is, what time is 11 hours after 10 o'clock if the clock runs on 12 cycle? So we are still using modulo 12, and our given there is 11 hours and 10 o'clock. So we write it then after. So we are dealing with addition, then modulo 12. So 10 plus 11 is 21. So we divide 21 with 12. 12 times 2 is 24, so it cannot be. So we only use 1. Then 21 minus 12 is equals to 9. So our remainder is 9. It's still right because it doesn't go beyond the value of 12, right? So 9 o'clock is our answer for the second problem. Now, a clock runs on a 12-hour cycle. What time is 7 hours after 8 o'clock? So the word is after, so we are going to use addition. So what time is 7? 8, we write 8 plus 7 modulo 12. So 8 plus 7 is 15. 8 plus 7 is 15. And then we divide 15 with 12. Which gives us the remainder of 3. So the answer here is 3 o'clock. Okay? Now, lastly, July 4, 2010 was Sunday. What day of the week is July 4, 2015? Now, this number, we are dealing with not only with a day of the week, but also with the year. So, as you can see, we have the 2010, the Sunday, then 2015. The date, both are the same. So for number 10, we have to consider we have to convert the Sunday first into the number, okay? And then 2010 and 2015, the gap is 5 years, right? And then in a year, we have 365 days. Like that. And then Sunday is 7. So we have the values, okay? We have the numbers already. But we have to be careful because not all the years are 365 days. Because some can consist of 366 days, or which we call as leap year. So leap year can be identified if the year number is divisible by 4. So that's the easiest way to locate or identify if a year is a leap year. So leap year has 366 days, okay? So take note of that. Now, we have the given 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, and we stop at 2015 because we are looking for the day on 2015, okay? And let's see if the numbers are divisible by 4. 2010 is not divisible by 4. 2011 also not. 2012 is can be divided with 4. 2012 is divisible of 4 because if we try to divide it, 20 divided by 4 is 5. Then 12 is 3. Right? There's no remainder, so this is divisible by 4. So we have identified one leap year within the 5-year span from 2010 to 2015. So what we're gonna do is write 7 because this is equivalent to the Sunday, and then we write 5, 365 because we are talking about the 5 years duration. But since we have one leap year, we are going to add 1, just 1, okay? So the answer 7 plus. So the answer is 1,833. Now we just have to look for a number or divisible or multiples of 7 that we can subtract here in our 1,833 value so that we can minimize it so that we can convert it into what day of the week it is, okay? So let's say so 7 times 261. 7 times 261 is equivalent to 127. So our answer is 6. So again, why did we get the multiples of 7 to subtract here? It's because this number, the 1833, is too big for us to determine what day of the week it is. So in order to find the small values, because we are only using 1 to 7, right? So all we have to do is we have to look for the multiples of 7 that we can subtract here in order to come up with the least positive number possible. Okay, so we got 6. So this means that the answer for this problem is Saturday. Okay, so that's how you get the different, that's how you solve the different problems revolving around time and day using arithmetic modulo n. So in summary, in all cases, after performing the operations as usual with integers, the final result is reduced to find the remainder. Okay, this concept is fundamental in number theory and computer science, particularly in cryptography and coding theory. So all you have to do, or all you have to remember when solving for modulo n, you just have to perform whatever the operations that is within parentheses, and then you divide whatever value you got here to the value of modulo. Okay, so that's what you have to do. But in solving word problems, just be careful with the tricky questions so that you won't use a wrong operation to get your answer. Okay, so that's it from my report, and thank you for listening.